The NFL has seen numerous teams live up to the hype and conquer the league as Super Bowl champions in the last decade. From teams like the 2016 New England Patriots, the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles, the 2019 Kansas City Chiefs, or the 2025 Seattle Seahawks. These teams had an incredible mix of veteran talent, superstars, and elite playmakers that made them hard to defeat. Plus, they had formidable defenses and had offenses that clicked and made opposing defenses just look silly at times. However, some teams were hyped up but didn't live up to expectations as they fell into the wayside. These teams had and have the talent to punch their ticket to a Super Bowl, but they're gonna fall short in the playoffs or just barely lose in the big game in the last minute or seconds. So today, we're gonna take a look at 10 of the most overhyped NFL teams of the last decade and discuss why they were all hype despite not winning it all. 2016 Dallas Cowboys. Even though Tony Romo was out for the 2016 season due to a compression fracture, then rookie quarterback Dak Prescott went on a tear for America's team and dominated on the field, completing 311 passes for 3,667 yards and throwing 23 touchdowns against 4 interceptions. Prescott got to work with fellow rookie Ezekiel Elliott, who won the PFWA NFL Rookie of the Year with 1,631 rushing yards on 322 attempts, which also led the league, and scored 15 touchdowns. Prescott also got to throw passes to Jason Witten, Des Bryant, Cole Beasley, and Terrence Williams, making a lethal passing attack. The Cowboys finished the 2016 season with a 13-3 record, earned the 1 seed in the playoffs on the NFC side, and started the playoffs in the NFC divisional round. However, as we all remember, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers defeated the Cowboys 34-31 on a last-second field goal made by Mason Crosby. In the end, this Cowboys team was incredibly overhyped due to a lethal offense masking a defense that had flaws and relied on rookies Prescott and Elliott. 2016 Atlanta Falcons. The 2016 Falcons were incredibly potent on offense, as Matt Ryan won the league MVP, had offensive superstars like Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman to work with, and a young and talented defense coached by then second-year head coach Dan Quinn. The Falcons finished the 2016 season with an 11-5 record, which was good enough to earn them the 2nd seed in the playoffs. They defeated the Seattle Seahawks 36-30 in the divisional round, dominated Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers 44-21 in the NFC Championship game, and reached Super Bowl 51. Once in said Super Bowl, the Falcons dominated the New England Patriots for 3 whole quarters and were up 28-3. But the Patriots came back and tied things up. Game went into overtime, and running back James White scored the game-winning touchdown for Tom Brady and the Pats with a final score of 34-28. Because of that Super Bowl collapse, the 2016 Falcons were officially an overhyped team due to a young, inexperienced defense, an aggressive yet unbalanced play-calling scheme, and poor situational coaching, all of which were exposed on the biggest stage. Super Bowl 51 continues to haunt the Falcons to this day, since they haven't been back to the playoffs since 2017. And so, the online mockery that immediately followed and has echoed ever since, as nobody will let the Falcons forget 28-3. 2018 Kansas City Chiefs. The 2010s Chiefs became known as a playoff contender who just couldn't get it done in the postseason, even with Alex Smith under center. When Patrick Mahomes was drafted in 2017, it was clear that he was going to be the guy leading the Chiefs long-term, while Smith's tenure with the team was coming to an end. Mahomes had a spectacular season in 2018, as he completed 383 passes for 5,097 yards, led the league with 50 touchdown passes against 12 interceptions, and won the league MVP that season. The rest of the Chiefs had a very talented offense for Mahomes to work with Travis Kelce, Damian Williams, and Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs had a 12-4 record in 2018, earned the 1 seed, and won the AFC divisional round against the Indianapolis Colts 31-13. But they lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion New England Patriots 37-31 in overtime. The Chiefs had a flawed defensive scheme under defensive coordinator Bob Sutton, who would get replaced by Steve Spagnuolo, and that man would clean things up, resulting in the Chiefs winning Super Bowl 54 a year later. 2019 New England Patriots. The 2019 Patriots had a dominant start to the year with an 8-0 record, but their flaws and weaknesses were masked due to squaring off against, well, much weaker teams, which would definitely be exposed later on in the season. The Pats had a strong and talented defense, but their offense was slowly declining, which lacked the explosive playmakers outside of Julian Edelman and James White. The Pats' red zone touchdown rate plummeted to 49.2%, which was 27th in the league at the time. Tom Brady still played at an elite level, but didn't have the offensive weapons we were used to seeing him have around for a majority of the season. The defense started to experience fatigue because of the offensive struggles late in the season, as they were on the field for for longer periods of time, causing a lot of wear and tear on the armor. Then, the Patriots made it to the playoffs. There, they lost to the 6th-seeded Tennessee Titans, coached by former Patriots linebacker Mike Vrabel. Tom Brady's final pass as a Patriot was an interception to former Patriots cornerback Logan Ryan, who returned it for a touchdown. Then, he chose not to re-sign with the team, becoming a free agent at the time and ultimately signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and leading them to win Super Bowl 55 against the Kansas City Chiefs. 2019 Baltimore Ravens. The 2019 Ravens were a dominant force to be reckoned with on offense, thanks to second-year quarterback Lamar Jackson's elusive play, which earned him his first MVP award. The Ravens' offense played well with huge leads, controlling the clock and forcing opponents to chase and keep up with them. The Ravens finished the 2019 season with a 14-2 record and earned the 1 seed in the playoffs. They would go on to host the 6th-seeded Tennessee Titans in the AFC divisional round, and their weaknesses and flaws were exposed in that one game. The offense was forced to move from a run-happy system to a more pass-active offense, with the Titans' defense forcing turnovers. The Ravens' defense couldn't slow down Derrick Henry, who rushed for 195 yards with 30 carries on the ground. The game showed the Ravens had to make some serious offensive adjustments moving forward, which they would do beginning in the 2020 season. 2020 Green Bay Packers. The 2020 Packers were a sight to see on the field, as Aaron Rodgers completed 372 passes for 4,299 yards and threw a league-high 48 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. The Packers' offense looked unstoppable, with Aaron Jones dominating on the ground and Devontae Adams, who had 1,374 receiving yards in the team's passing attack. However, the Packers heavily relied on their star players to get the job done in the majority of their games, forcing them to execute long, methodical drives against elite opposing defenses, as opposed to using more explosive plays. The Packers' defense played strong and had physical playmakers like Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith, and Kenny Clark leading the charge. However, they struggled against physical rushing attacks. The Packers finished the year with a 13-3 record, with the playoffs running through Lambeau Field. The Packers defeated the Los Angeles Rams 32-18 in the divisional round, but lost to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-26 in the NFC Championship game. The Packers' defense was exposed when they squared off against a strong Bucs rushing attack led by veterans LaShawn McCoy, Leonard Fournette, and Ronald Jones II. During the offseason, the Packers selected Jordan Love with the 27th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, a move that proved right for the organization, as he's kept the Packers afloat ever since. 2021 Tennessee Titans. The 2021 Titans had a dominant team with Derrick Henry bulldozing his way through opposing defenses. A.J. Brown had a good season, but dealt with a chest injury, and Ryan Tannehill commanded the offense fairly well. The Titans finished the season with a 12-5 record and earned the 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. But during the regular season, the Titans won a lot of close games throughout the season. The Titans' offense was okay at best, as they relied heavily on Henry's immense strength, while their passing attack was mediocre at best, with Brown being their best receiver, alongside a past his prime Julio Jones and Nick Westbrook-Ikine. Not to mention, the Titans roster was dealing with numerous injuries throughout the year. During the season, the Titans had a turnover problem, as Tannehill threw 21 touchdowns against 14 interceptions and struggled with consistency. The Titans hosted the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC divisional round and lost 19-16 in a very close game, even with the Titans' defense playing very well, having 9 sacks against Joe Burrow. In the end, the offense stalled and Tannehill threw 3 crucial interceptions that sealed the Titans' fate, allowing the Bengals to kick the game-winning field goal. 2021 Cincinnati Bengals. Speaking of the Bengals, the 2021 Bengals were incredibly talented on offense, with Joe Burrow commanding the unit, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins leading an incredible passing attack, and Joe Mixon commanding the rushing attack on the ground. However, the Bengals heavily relied on making quick, striking, explosive plays to chase instead of sustaining long, methodical drives. Not to mention, the Bengals' offensive line was dreadful, as they gave up 55 sacks on Joe Burrow and backup Brandon Allen during the regular season. Oh, and Burrow was sacked 19 times in the playoffs. The Bengals finished the regular season with a fair 10-7 record and went on a strong playoff run, defeating the Las Vegas Raiders 26-19 in the wildcard round, the Tennessee Titans 19-16 in the divisional round, and the Kansas City Chiefs 27-24 in overtime, reaching a Super Bowl 56. Unfortunately, the Bengals lost said Super Bowl against the Los Angeles Rams 23-20. During the playoff run, the Bengals defense tightened up, snagged more turnovers, and saw kicker Evan McPherson become a playoff hero during the divisional round. 2022 Minnesota Vikings. The 2022 Vikings were exciting to watch offensively, as Kirk Cousins completed 424 passes for 4,547 yards and threw 29 touchdowns against 14 interceptions, while Justin Jefferson was dominating in the passing attack and Dalvin Cook was cooking on the ground. However, their defense struggled under defensive coordinator Ed Donatel and allowed 427 points, defense, which ranked 28th in the league. The Vikings defense ranked at the bottom in defensive efficiency and made mediocre quarterbacks look like Pro Bowl superstars. The Vikings managed to win most of their games in close fashion, but the few games that they lost, they were blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles 24-7, as well as the Dallas Cowboys blowing them out 40-3 on Thanksgiving, and then the Green Bay Packers 41-17. The team won the NFC North with a 13-4 record and hosted the New York Giants in the wildcard round, which the Vikings ultimately lost 31-24. The overachievements the Vikings experienced during the regular season really caught up to them in that loss, as the high win total during the regular season masked a roster that couldn't compete for a Super Bowl even if they tried. 2023 Buffalo Bills. The 2023 Bills had salary cap constraints, preventing them from signing free agents who would upgrade the roster. Josh Allen had a $39.8 million cap hit, Stephon Diggs had a $20.2 million cap hit, and Von Miller had a $18.6 million cap hit. Allen was very productive as he completed 385 passes for 4,306 yards and threw 29 touchdowns against 18 interceptions, as he took numerous risks during the regular season and lost 4 fumbles. Diggs led the team's receiving corps with 107 receptions for 1,183 yards and scored 8 touchdowns, while everyone else in the passing attack couldn't keep up. Not to mention, Allen couldn't find a reliable receiver who wasn't Diggs. On the ground, then second-year running back James Cook was producing, as he rushed for 1,122 yards on 237 attempts, but only scored 2 rushing touchdowns. He did, however, score 4 receiving touchdowns. The Bills' defense dealt with crucial injuries, including Matt Milano's leg injury, which ended the season in Week 5, and Tre'Davious White's torn Achilles in Week 4. The Bills had a 6-6 record before their bye week, and they went on to win 5 straight games after the bye to finish the year with an 11-6 record and capture the AFC East. In the playoffs, the Bills defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17 at home, but lost to Patrick Mahomes and the eventual Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs 27-24 at Arrowhead Stadium. In the end, the 2023 Bills failed to win crucial games when it mattered most and fell just short against the Chiefs in the divisional round of the playoffs, proving to critics that they just couldn't get over the hump. But what other NFL teams do you think have been overhyped over the past decade? Do you agree with the selections that we made on our list? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.